What's good, you guys? Peek out here in Singapore, and it is kind of late. It's been one of those days. I feel like I did a lot and didn't do anything all at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like I woke up and I didn't really want to get out of bed, but I had no choice. But once I got going, it's okay. So, I have two offices in the house, one that has a computer and one that has a stove. So I went to the first office and I was able to, crank out some crepes, which was kind of fun. And then I made my favorite chicken curry. And by the time I finished doing that, I had just enough time to kind of like sit down for a second and then run off to swim class. Got back home, and obviously, swim class means I got to do baby girl's hair. So, finished that about an hour ago and got back to the computer, the other office. So, it goes back and forth between the office in the kitchen and the office in my room. But either way, I feel like I have so many ideas and so many things to execute on. It's just a matter of just forcing it. So I start and then I'll be good. That's the way I feel about it. But tonight I wanted to talk to you about this odd idea I had about a closet analogy. So I just put up a post on Instagram talking about, it's easier said than done. And honestly, I created my brand mostly because I wanted to be that person that I needed when I was going through some stuff. So that also means that I have to come up with ways and means of explaining things to people so that it really does help them understand. Quotes are great and everything, and it's easy to say, hey, do this and your life will be better, but not everyone gives you, the practical steps to get to that place where you have put the quote into action, where it actually has become a part of your life. So I want to be that person, right? But that also means that I really need to understand people. So my storytelling kind of comes into play there. So I got to thinking and I was like, I really want people to feel good about their lives. I want them to feel like they've created the kind of life that fits their personality. And as I was saying those words, it kind of hit me like, have you ever had like a closet full of things you just don't wear? Right now, I'm going through another one of those phases. So I was thinking about my closet, and at once upon a time, obviously, I bought the things that I have in my closet. And at one point or another, maybe it fit me really well and I felt beautiful in it. Or it looked good in a catalog or online or something, and I bought it. And when I got here, I was like, ugh, no. And I didn't have the energy to send it back. So there are a couple of different reasons for why I have things in my closet, right? But let's go with the things that I've bought that I did on purpose because at one point or another, it fit me. It was exactly what I wanted, and I have them, right? And that's kind of like analogous to having people in your life that you chose at one point or another, or situations that you chose at one point or another because you thought that's what you wanted. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could have been, I don't know, a specific schedule because it fit you at one point and then things change and now they no longer fit. So let's go back to the closet, shall we? So, you have dresses and suits. Seriously, I have suits. I have suits that were made by Victoria's Secret back when they made suits. They don't make suits no more. Um, but I have them, right? I have them still, and I think they're really good quality, and I don't want to get rid of them. But I also know that there are some dresses in there that I thought were really well fitted to me at one point, but obviously as we work out and move around and get older or eat or whatever, our body redistributes our weight and we're no longer snug in the places we like to be snug. So, looking at that, even though I have plenty of clothes, a lot of the clothes that I have don't fit the way that I would like them to and aren't appropriate for various outings, I guess you can say. Some of them are more like I wear them at home, I wear them around the house, I wear them in and around, the complex where I live. But to go out to the club or to go out to a fancy dinner event, I struggle a little bit because that's not what my life is about right now. I don't spend money on clothes. Um, and so I don't feel beautiful in some of those, situations. I would rather wear a sari than wear anything else. And even then, a lot of the saris that I have been with me for about 20 years or so, which also means that the blouses that came with them no longer fit the way that they could. And though I love saris and I could pretty much find a way to wear it, sometimes the blouse really upsets me and I don't feel so great about it. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of explain this theory that's, kind of banging around in my head a little bit. At some point, the clothes we bought either no longer fit or are no longer our style. And that means that we have to let go of those pieces in order to make room for new pieces. But that also means you need to get ready to reassess your body and the things you want to show off as far as your body's concerned. Maybe your arms looked really great at one point and now maybe they don't look the way that you want them to. So you avoid buying certain clothes that maybe reveal your arms as much because you're just not comfortable. So it's a lot of those little things that play into how you feel about yourself and then how you choose to dress yourself. That's only one aspect, right? How you dress yourself. It could be how you interact with people in certain social settings. I was at the club the other night, and not with my people, but I knew a couple of people there, and I was there to specifically perform a task. I was there to MC for a second, and to interview people. But outside of that, I didn't know anybody, so I did what I always do. I found a great vantage point from where I could sit, where I had my back to a wall so no one could come creep up behind me, and I sat quite comfortably and surveyed the room. It's what I do. I enjoyed the music. I watched the music videos that were playing on the screen or whatever, and every so often if people came up to me, I spoke to them very quickly and then went back to this kind of chilling. So I sat there by myself, which it took me years to get to a point where I was comfortable enough to sit there and be okay by myself. That's one example, right? Another one is to get on camera. It took me a really long while to focus on the person I was speaking to if I had someone on the other line rather than just stare at my face. And for a lot of what I'm doing, I still get nervous about just looking into a camera and just speaking randomly. I kind of feel weird about that. So it's about time again to get back in the groove of presenting on a regular basis so I can kind of exhaust the idea of being scared in front of a camera. The more I do it, the more exhausted I will be, and then eventually it will be not even something I even concern myself with, whether I look good on camera or not. Interviews, I used to really hate interviews until obviously going to look for a job, you go through many interviews and you find that eventually you get used to talking about yourself a little bit, and it's not gassing anyone up and it's not tooting your own horn. It's more like, all right, well, this is the job I'm applying for, and these are skills I do have that are relevant, and I want you to know about them because otherwise you're not going to hire me. So every skill set has a moment where you first try to employ the skill set and it doesn't work out so well. So you get nervous, and maybe it fails the first time and then you're afraid that it's going to fail every time after, and so you avoid the situation altogether. With me, for a long, long, long time, I did not like showing my legs. And now I could care less because I've done it so many times that it doesn't bother me. And I've proven to myself that it doesn't bother anybody else either, So clothes, I think, are a very, very simple way of explaining how we go about life. At some point, I chose everything that's in my closet. At some point, I've worn all of the things that are in my closet. There are very rare items in my closet that I've never worn before. And maybe it's because I bought it for an occasion and the occasion passed, I didn't have a chance to wear it, or I thought it was cute and it's no longer cute and I just haven't had a chance to get rid of it or alter it somehow. But the point being that I chose everything in there. I made the conscious decision to pay money to buy those things and keep them. When I'm ready and feel like I no longer need those things and they no longer fit, I have no further use for those items, I will usually donate. If I can, I'll alter and continue wearing them, but if I really can't and I have no choice, I will donate. And eventually at some point I will find a way to buy new things. But I don't think it gets much simpler than how you feel about your body and how you choose to clothe yourself as a result. My ideal wardrobe, aka my ideal life, would be one where no matter what I pull out of my closet, I feel beautiful wearing it. So eventually I will pare down all of my clothes and then go out and buy again to suit my current style and my current body. But until I'm comfortable giving up the old, I want to have space for the new. Until I feel comfortable with stretching my mind about how to clothe my body again, I will not change. For example, when I was growing up, I had these little chicken legs, and I kind of still do. I have boxer ankles, I have really small ankles, and not much of a calf muscle to speak of, but as a dancer, I did develop my quads and my hamstrings, so I have decent size legs, I guess. I don't know. But my calves leave something to be required. And for a long time, I avoided wearing anything skinny to draw attention to the fact that I was already skinny. So what did I do? I did the extreme. I wore elephant pants or stovepipe jeans. I wore anything that was baggy because it gave me a chance to accentuate the fact that I did love my waist. And so when I made it so that my hip and my ankle was about the same size, because that was the way the jeans were cut, the pants were cut, right? It drew attention to the fact that my waist was actually quite small. But the point being that I looked like I was wearing a bag. I did not look like I was wearing anything flattering to my figure. But the fact that I carried myself with such confidence, you didn't notice any of those things. I can wear the hell out of them sweatpants. Give me sweatpants and a wife beater any day of the week. I will feel completely comfortable. You give me an oversized shirt and some jeans. I will feel pretty comfortable. Actually, jean shorts probably with an oversized shirt. Dresses, I'm a lot more picky about because I need them to fit a certain way. A lot of times I feel like they're a little more baggy in the hip area because I wanted them to fit my shoulders, or I wanted them to fit my waist. The way that it's cut here in Singapore, it's very strange. So the measurements are a little bit different than what I'm used to. But the point being that I get very frustrated wearing dresses because it's one piece that's supposed to fit every angle of my body. Not always easy. Saris, no problem. Dresses, not so much. But if it's a two-piece, if it's like a suit, or if it's jeans and a shirt, normally I don't have a problem. Normally it's easier because I've broken up where all the measurements really need to fit very well. So I went from wearing stovepipe jeans, elephant pants, all those baggy carpenter jeans, all of that, for a long time, thinking that I could hide the fact that I had skinny legs and avoiding anything that was fitted because I hated it, to finally wearing skinny jeans. I wear skinny jeans now. I never thought I'd ever wear skinny jeans. Now, one thing I do hate about Singaporean jeans is that all of them end up being short on me. I have a very long inseam. I have a 37-inch inseam. And for jeans that fit my waist and hip, it ends up being short every time. So eventually, given a chance, I will have tailored pants that fit exactly the way that I want them to. I like the fact that my pants, the hem at least, actually covers 3/4 of my foot. That's how wide I want them to be. I love it when pointy toe shoes stick out from under pants that are very well tailored. I love that. I love it when a jacket hits just at the side of my hip that is widest, because it gives me a chance to accentuate my hip and my waistline. But all of those things came with tons and tons of trial and error, and I had to get out of my comfort zone enough to even try those things and then take a look and see what it looked like. I had to give up some of my old habits in order to step into new ones. I had to give up what I used to look like I do now. And it's not to say that my body changed that much. It really didn't. I think maybe the last big change I went through was childbirth, but other than that, I think I've been the same all throughout. But how I feel about my body, that's changed. How I feel about wearing certain types of clothes, that's changed. I didn't always like wearing jeans. I used to like wearing tailored pants. I used to like wearing suit pants with whatever shirt. I used to love wearing jackets to everything. I don't wear jackets anymore. I had a thing for shoulder pads. And before that, I used to hate shoulder pads. I mean, my idea of what's beautiful consistently changes. But it's the same thing with life. What I thought I wanted, until I try it, I don't know if it's actually a good fit for me or not. Same thing with decorating a room. If you wanted to go in and buy furniture, you don't know what it looks like until the furniture gets in there. No matter how well you plan it, you don't really know until you walk into the space and see all the furniture laid out. You don't really know how a dish will taste until you try it with all of the ingredients. A lot of times, I skip some ingredients. I adjust recipes all the time. But even then, I have to taste test as I go along. So please don't laugh as I use my closet as an analogy for life. But to be very honest, it was the simplest way I could use to illustrate the fact that at some point, everything that's in my closet is something I chose on purpose. At some point, everything in my closet was because I thought it was beautiful. I thought it would look great. I thought it would feel great. But eventually, I started feeling different about my body. So I started using certain things less and other things more. I have a drawer full of long skirts. I don't even know what to call them. Maxi skirts, I guess is what you would call them. And while I used to wear them all the time a couple of years back, I don't really wear them that often anymore. I bought 4 kurtas for the first time in my life 3 years ago. And I wore them almost every other day when I went to work at Kindle Kids. But since then, I don't wear them that often. I don't feel that way about kurtas anymore. So as you can see, it's easier for us to give up those physical things and move in for something different. But when it comes to our beliefs, when it comes to our relationships, we're a lot more hesitant. And I wonder if we were able to understand the fact that we evolve our beliefs, we change the way we think all the time. Every time we get new information, we change the way we think about things, the way we believe things, that it's okay to shed those beliefs. I think life would get a lot easier. There'd be a lot less pressure. We wouldn't feel so stressed all the time. We wouldn't feel like, oh my God, this isn't fit and it doesn't feel good and I don't like it. We'd be able to adjust and carry on. We'd be able to change 1 or 2 minor things and feel less pressure almost immediately. So I hope you were able to follow along. I was kind of ranting a little bit, but I wanted to get this idea out so that you could see that it really is that simple. Putting it in practice, yeah, that's going to take some work, but it really is just as simple as choosing to believe a different version of what you believed before. I believed in heaven and hell. And then I got to a point where I was like, wow, that's really, really harsh and that stresses me out a little bit. I think I like the idea of serving time in hell and then we eventually all go to heaven. That feels better to me. That means there is, light at the end of the tunnel. I won't be punished forever. Because so many people do so many varying degrees of right and wrong. I couldn't imagine going straight to hell for any one thing. I used to believe that you had to go and pray in a specific way until I realized that I talk to God all the time. It's like this simple little conversation I usually have in my own head as I walk along, as I enjoy nature. I need to be in nature for me. That's all the temple I need. But all of those things came with trial and error. All of those things meant that I had to shed one to adopt something new. And when I adopted something new, suddenly I was able to relax another part of my body, another part of my life, and enjoy a little bit more because there were less rules. There was less to worry about, to be concerned with. There was less limiting me. So yeah, I used a closet for an analogy because I thought it would be colorful and I thought it would be different and I thought it would be easier for you to maybe understand that we shed things all the time. Beliefs are just another something to shed. And if it can make your life a little bit easier, why not adopt a new belief? Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about or, explain, if there's any questions you have about my journey, please, by all means, drop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer all the questions you have. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.